Do, 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 do. Voila. Oh, hang on. Yes. Ah, how you doing, guys? Um, Welcome to Dogman Teepee Hunting. If you're listening to this, it will be on the Interdimensional Voyagers podcast. Right. Let's have a look and get things sorted out back here now. Right. Hope you had a good week. There you are. Got my just freaking love Dogman t-shirt on. Because it's one of my favorites. Just want to say, firstly, thank you very much to Dornio, Kate, Roxy B for helping out once again, doing a brilliant job. Can anyone tell me if this is going out on Facebook? I tell you why, because it's like the 10th episode I've done, and it was quite a special one. I thought, oh, do you know what? This time around, I'm going to do a live on Facebook, stream it on Facebook, not just YouTube. So I just wondered if anyone could let us know. That'd be great. Who have we got on? Foxo Fox, hello mate, how are you? Yep, lovely. Who else? Yep, Tonio, lovely. Let's have a look here. Okay, yeah. Oh, Delvoy, hello mate. You all right? Yeah, good to see you again. Okay, right. What I wanted to do is uh, talk about last week, because last week went away camping, and we went to Cannock Chase. I met up with two other guys. So we decided for a little while now, we were going to meet down here, but then we decided, do you know what, we're going to meet up there, because Cannock Chase is a much bigger and one of the most paranormal kind of like places you could possibly ever want to go to. It's just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Really good place. And I mean, if anyone's seen some of my stuff I've done, I like to get into the most creepiest places ever. The creepier the better for me. I just like love it. So I was in heaven. It was really good. Yeah, so I met up with two fellas. I'll bring them on in a minute, as well. And what I'm going to do on this live, if you're watching this, we've got lots of video, some audio, but it's unfinished. Okay, so I've still got to titter with the videos and the audio. Oh, that's fine, thank you. Hi, you are on Facebook. Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Roxy. Lovely. Great. That's good. To all those on Facebook, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining. And anyway, yeah, so it took a load of footage. I took so much footage, I had ran out of capacity. Now, as every investigator is going to know who goes out in the field, it kind of like when you're doing, I like to do 4K if I can, HDR, but it's not always possible because of capacity. And this time round, it wasn't. It was 1080p. That was it, because there's so much to film. But I'm going to be brutal with it. I'm just going to keep stuff that I really think is worth showing you guys. So anyway, I've got some video. I know the other two fellas got some video. They've also got still pictures as well of what they've captured. They've got some really good content. So I think it's going to be quite a good show. It's going to, anyone interested in cryptids, Bigfoot, Dogman, all of that is going to be interested in it. We should be interested in it. So yeah, right. So what I'm going to do, without any messing around, is I am firstly going to take a copy of this link. Okay. So what I'm doing at the moment is I am going to copy this StreamYard link. Okay. and I'm going to post it. And when I post it, I'm going to put it on Facebook just as a link. Okay. Basically, so people 8 o'clock, right? Because this lasts till 8:30. At 8 o'clock, people will be able to come on, and if you've got any questions for the guests or myself, then by all means, you know, please ask them. Right, hang on, just bear with it. Live link for 8 p.m. Right, okay. Boom. Okay, right, okay. I'm going to paste that on my bio on Facebook. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm also going to post it, guys, on my YouTube, right? So you guys don't miss out as well. Okay, and then that is done. Right, in the meantime, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring the guests on. Okay, we have Ian Wood. You'll know these people, Ian Wood, and if you're in the cryptozoology kind of groups, you're going to know Colin Keelty as well. Okay, so I'm going to bring these guys on. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh yeah.
Ian.
Hey, how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, good, thanks. You guys?
Good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, I'm good. Recovering.
Recovering.
Oh, are you still recovering?
I'm all right. Fine.
Yeah. Good. That's the main thing. Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, no, it's it was a hard trek, wasn't it? It was a hard trek. It was a proper proper rough. Not the first day. That was kind of like, we walked a bit of a way, but the second night was quite
Very rough, wasn't it? Where we went, it was untouched.
Yeah, which was great. I love those sort of places. Right, okay, bear with. Hang on, we're just putting up the link. Live link for live. So, have you been through your footage, guys?
Yeah, I've been. Yeah, I've been through 4 of my videos. It's the first one, 3 minutes. The one that's 3 minutes 40 seconds. That's where there's a lot of where you and Cole spotted one ducking down behind the tree. I picked up 2, and I think as we walked along, because there seemed to be a big one and a little one, and I think they split up, because further up when we were going, as the sun was setting, I took that picture of an open space, and there's a tree on the left, and I just felt there was one there, and the little one was pushed up against the tree, but the side of its head sticking out, and you can see one of the ears. Now on a PC, as opposed to like a phone, if you zoom in, you can make out the nose and the nostrils.
Right.
A bit of an eye.
What we did is Monday I met these guys, and I met them in we camped right in the forest. Okay, so anyone listening, it wasn't just a day trip. It was we met up and we set up. I was late because I'm always late for everything. I'm late for everything, but so we met up and set up and got ready. Then we went out that first evening. We came back again around about midnight, I guess it was. I mean, really, it's a shame we didn't go out later. Next time, I'm going to go out, because normally when I go out, I normally go out about 10 o'clock. through to around past the Devil's Hour. That's the
Well, we
times
wanted to
I
sit there,
normally
didn't we?
go out.
Really,
Yeah, that's
at
it.
least an hour or two.
Yeah, because if you go past that time span, whenever I take recordings and I dump a MP3 player, that's between about 1 o'clock and 3:30, 4 o'clock. You get some wicked sounds, really cool sounds. But we'll come on to sounds in a bit, because we got some quite good sounds as well. So it was. It was very eventful. It was a good camp. We stayed until about Wednesday, and then we'd like hurtled back. Partly because work issues, and I think it was just the case that it was so flipping cold, wasn't it, at night?
Unbelievable. That was freezing.
It was so cold. It was like, what the hell? Yeah, it was.
Could have brought the winter gear.
Yeah, that's right. Because you go out, we went out, and of course, nice, sunny, warm. We didn't think the temperatures were going to go, kind of that. It was all condensation everywhere, and I'm a bit wussy, to be honest, when it comes to cold and that. So I was like, oh yeah, But no, it was good. It was good fun. I enjoyed it. We got some really good stuff. And what I'll do, I'm going to start off first of all, I think, if it's all right with you guys, is ask you, Ian, what did you think of Cannock Chase? What was your first impression?
Oh, it's just well, I'd say that would have been my 4th or 5th time there, but it's a special place. I mean, a lot has been written and recorded about it, for one thing or another. But certainly, first evening there, going up the path. But for me, the most outstanding thing was that dog. Do you remember the dog next to the campsite that just kept barking forever and ever? And then something across the road decided to kick in that sounded louder, deeper, had a lot of lung capacity, and that dog shot up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that. I know Colin did, because I asked him, I said, did you hear that last night? Anyway, yeah. I was like, oh. Like 3 or 4 times, and that dog just shut up.
Woke me up.
It was, yeah. In the same place I stayed at, I heard last year, I heard like this howling as well in the distance, with like about six different dogs, like all howling, but it wasn't dogs, it was something else. It was a strange sound. But no, that's right. It was very deep. It was all the diaphragm put into it.
Yeah,
like that,
like a gruff.
Yeah.
It was. I just, in my mind, it was like telling it to shut up. Or else.
Yeah. It was loud, and it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Easily 2 o'clock. I've got Louis Sanchez coming on. Hi, Louis. How you doing, mate? Nice to see you. He said, "Did you have any time warp or distortion during the trip? Did we have any time warp?
Not as I noticed.
No, not me. No, didn't have any time warp. But I did. I do want to say that originally it was a royal hunting forest, but Cannock Chase forest was like a lot of big forests. But there's a lot of people do believe that it does house a portal of some sort, because of the intense amount of different paranormal, not just cryptids, paranormal as well. I had a friend who told me about a story. He grew up and lived around that area, and I'm sure the story was one of the stories anyway, by this friend of mine, that there were some people he saw in the distance, and they had period dress on, and they were just like kind of walking slowly, but when he shouted over to them, they just sort of turned their head and carried on walking. But he said they were like absolute like Victorian era kind of dress, out of place, very, very out of place. And when you kind of think to yourself, well, that was like kind of in the forest. Why would they be dressed up, suited and booted? Her in a dress more fitting for evening wear. So I think with time portals, I think, I think it, like a lot of places, and like a lot of places where it has a lot of trees and other energies going on, I think, I wouldn't be at all surprised if there is one in there. But I didn't feel anything. I didn't have any time anomalies personally. No. So let's have a think. Right, Cole, what do you think about the place?
It was absolutely a fantastic place. You could definitely feel it as you walked in there. I think all three of us at the same time realised something that was following us. We all said it at the same time. We all got a feeling, but that place it seems to house a lot of strange noises as we recorded. Paranormal, I think, and we don't know if there's an underground base. What me and Phil heard, you heard that door, like a steel door shutting, was in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, you can tell it's very cryptozoology type of place. As soon as you walk in there, you feel it. We feel it. But I loved it. Can't wait to get back.
Yeah. No, it was a great place. I agree with you. I mean, it was one of these places where you just know that it's got that scopocipia type of thing where you can feel people or something watching you as you're walking along. And in this day and age, I think about 13% of UK is with woods and forests now. That's all it is, percentage rate. It's reducing rapidly at the moment. There's a lot of greenbelt land, but that's it. 13% is very, very little. But what I believe is because of that, because it's reducing, if you like, all of the phenomena is condensing and becoming more concentrated, if anything else. But no, it's a wonderful place to visit, and we were so lucky with the weather as well. During the day, it was fantastic. It was warm. It was so lovely. I felt also during the daytime that it was just as active as evening time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly felt weird when Colin and I met up.
Something's going on there.
Colin just kept looking over too. I was looking at one side of the camp, Colin was looking over another side of the camp. So I just felt like we were just doing much.
Okay,
I'm not getting in at all.
Ian, your microphone. Have you got? Your microphone is That's it. That's better.
Yeah.
You couldn't hear you before.
Oh, I see. Fine.
Yeah. It's still. Yeah. It is it. What it's doing is, I think it's rubbing. It's rubbing against something on your. You know that bit hanging down. Is that the microphone, or what you're holding is just?
How's that?
Might be.
Yeah.
I think that's just a bit where the wires going.
Should there be wires in it?
I don't have those earbuds that are cordless.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's okay. No, it's only just when you talk, it sounds like you're being electrocuted.
Oh right, okay.
What you say, fat chance?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
On to me.
Brilliant. Excellent. Yeah. I hope you're not sitting there with your feet in a bowl of water. But anyway. Yeah. So right. Shall we get on? Shall I put up some photos first of all?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Right. Let me put some photos up because I think people would like to see what we're rabbiting on about.
Obviously, you're still waiting for man because they're mainly all of you, but I have took pictures. We've been through all the trail cameras, everything. I've really studied them trail cameras. There's nothing on them whatsoever, apart from a walking with a dog. That's all we've had.
Yeah. I did take all the while I was there when I was walking around. I did take also back camera footage as well, because a lot of people that follow us and kind of they were saying to me, Phil, why don't you get a back camera? Get back camera, like Scott. And I was like, okay, I think I will actually. I did have one before years ago, and it's like kind of a bit of a crappy one, this little tiny cheap thing. But this one I got is a much better one. So so I was wearing that as well, but I've got to go through all of, if you can imagine, I've got hours worth of footage. I was running out of storage, so I've got to allow myself time, and yippee me, I'm back to work on Monday, so that's going to be sort of trying to fit it in with right. Now when we went walking up, we into the forest, we went kind of north. So as we did, we were going towards I believe it's called Castle Mount, Castle Ring. That's it, Castle Ring, not Mount, Castle Ring. So we went off towards there, and we saw quite a few structures. One of the structures was this one here. Okay, so that was one of the structures. That was it was quite large, and we first of all saw it at night time. This is the day after that we went back and took photos and recorded it. Very elaborate. It's also got more of a, less of a hide, more of a what do you think it was, Cole? Do you think it was like a definitely like a nest?
Seemed to be, didn't it? Right in the middle. You can't see it in this photo, but the entrance to it, but it seemed to be like some small, nest maybe. I don't know. It's weird, wasn't it? Is that the one that I dragged you from? Because I got a really bad feeling. I says, let's get out of here.
That's the one. Yeah, that area. Yeah, that's the one. I've got video of that as well, which I'll put up. Right. Okay. So also, we have got right now when we were walking up to see that, I also stopped, because I get a feeling, like a lot of people get a feeling, got a feeling that there was something around, and you kind of like stop in your tracks, and you kind of look, and I saw this in the distance. It was a little ways off, and I had to zoom in, but to me it just felt like it was something there, and I didn't quite know what. It seemed to have ears, and it did seem to move, not a lot, but slightly. I've done a bit of more of a close-up of it on the original footage. I've got the video footage as well.
Is that the one when I blew the whistle, it moved?
That's right. Yeah. When you blew the whistle, it did. It seemed to move, didn't it? Now on that, you can sort of to know whether my eyes are kind of making something of it, which isn't, but it does look to me to be a head, elongated. Yeah, it does. It does look to be something like a entity of some sort, a Dogman entity, perhaps. It looks like a head. Simply because, while I say it's not a tree stump, obviously a tree stump, is because there's a gap between its legs. It looks like it's stepping to one side. If you look underneath, the light's going underneath it. Unless that's but I don't know. It's out there. Kind of it's like a lot of the things. It kind of is, what it is, and you have to make of it what you make of it. I did also take some thermal, and on one of the thermal shots, I captured Cole. So he was walking in front of us, and I used him really as a barometer so that I could test out the thermal to make sure it was picking up. Dark is cold, white is hot. right? So I picked him up, which looks fine, you know. That was the first pick, and then he went off in a distance. But what I kept getting right next to him was on the right hand side, you see there's two hot circles, almost like like round floating circles. That was when he was walking off, and I still took shots of him on thermal. Now I captured quite a lot of that. I looked through the thermal, and every time, Cole, that I more or less a lot of times when I took your shot, your picture, I had these circles around you.
Well, I don't know if it's got anything to do with it, but I got told many years ago that I've got a heck of an energy around me, and certainly two people follow me. I don't know if that was from a psychic. I'm not really into psychics. Somebody asked me to go see them, and I did, and that's what I got told. So I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, Phil. I'm not sure. It's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, I'll send you the other photos, but on a lot of the photos on the thermal, it's not in one position. You get them in different positions, but it's like almost perfectly round circles by you. And I was like, that's a bit odd. And in contrast, not all the while, you get pictures of you like that, which are fine. They don't have a circle, but an awful lot of them did. Right, got another photo coming up here. Now, Ian, what's that about?
Right, basically, where the tree split in two, like two right angles, there was something similar I found in the woods at May Lane, and strewn all around it was basically branches with leaves on it. It's laid out like a bed. So it's almost like a temporary bed. I just wondered if there was something similar near the base of the tree that could have been used just for sort of crushing for a couple of hours. Something can get its head down. But there's something exactly like that in the woods at May Lane.
It's interesting, I always find, with the tree snaps, because it doesn't look it there. It's about I'd say about 4 foot up the actual trunk. Yeah. And believe me, it was shielded there. That's not on the peripheral of a forest. That's in the forest. Okay, so you've got, with wind and such and so forth. It kind of shields it from that, you would believe. You'd think that if tree snap was going to happen, it would happen kind of on the edge of a forest. That wasn't, which was very strange. To me, also there was plenty of sunlight in that section. So to say that it was battling with sunlight to get sunlight and it's died and gotten brittle and blown over, I personally don't think so. I think, and the height that it broke off at, I don't think that's like normal. I don't think personally that's normal for it to snap off in that 4 foot in height. Got Keith Aston, hello, saying Xanu. Yes, yeah, could well be. Yeah, that is. I think they mean that Xanu live in the Cannock Chase. So Xanu live everywhere. Yeah, and they're Xanu are another name of for Bigfoot, if you like, Sasquatch. There's another name for them. It's more of a family name, if you like. It kind of more of a
pod.
Yeah. What it is, it's Matthew A. Johnson was told by Bigfoot, basically, because he's part of the part of a seat of 12. So there's 12 head Bigfoot called Xanu. And I spoke to him in an interview. If anyone wants to catch it, I'll put it on the description as well. It's a really interesting interview with him. It goes into great detail. The UK Xanu group is run by Gordon Dodds, another nice guy. But yeah, so they're basically Bigfoot, Sasquatch, but they are more in communication and they're more in attuned to certain people. and it's just basically another name for them. Right, got paranormal walks. Hello, Stuart. Castle Ring has been said to be a portal. Yeah, yeah. Castle Ring, brilliant. Right, yeah. So I'm going to bring the next picture up now. Bear with. Aha. Right. Okay. What I've got here now is I have got some footage. All right, video footage. When on the second night, me and Colin went out to do an investigation, and we decided to go a bit off track. Anyway, when we first started off going into the forest, he straight away, like a ferret up a drain pipe, clocked two nice structures, sizable structures. So in the film, you'll see that I go plodding up in my own like kind of flat-footed way, and I have a little look at them. And when I do, I've stopped and I'm panning the camera around. At that particular time, footsteps could be heard. Now, in all honesty, I didn't hear the footsteps because it is, when the forest floor gets like kind of a lot of leaf litter and a lot of needle drops and it becomes spongy, and it's very hard to hear anything anyway, footsteps wise. But these footsteps are really heavy, and I didn't notice it until Cole turned around to me and said, "Did you hear that?" I was like, "What?" He said, "The footsteps right behind you, Phil." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Anyway, I listened back on the footage and I can hear it on the footage. Right, I'm just going to play it now for you. Right, stop it there. Listen. Right, okay. Now, at the moment, I've got to. I would suggest if you're playing this back, earphones, okay, because it is very subtle. It is very subtle. I will enhance it when I get a bit more time to go through all the footage and sort of like mix and match it. But at the moment, just earphones. Very soft underground. Got Colin over there. The birds are just about ready to settle for the night. So the thing is, when you go walking in the woods at this time of night, when it's dusk time and getting dark, you do end up disturbing a lot of birds from their sleep, and they go fluttering off, and yeah, can be a bit shocking sometimes when there's quite a few of them and you disturb them as you're traipsing through the forest, especially at night, and they just like all of a sudden, boom, that's it, they flutter away from the treetops. Okay, this is the first one. I'll just show you. Right, okay, gonna take it back a little bit. All right, again, when you hear the birds fluttering away, that wasn't because of me. It wasn't until I listened to it again with earphones on carefully. Now remember, I'm going to enhance it. All right,
it was quite loud, but that didn't pick it up very well, did it? That's why I come back out round to see who the heck was coming through the woods.
And I think, Cole, what it was when the birds fluttered away, it wasn't me. I was stopped. So I think it was because of
heavy, whatever it was coming through there.
Okay. Right, I'm going to play a little bit. The thing is, when you go walking in the woods at this time of night, when it's dusk time and getting... I don't know, go a bit further back. Very soft underground. Got Colin over there. The birds are just about ready to settle for the night. So the thing is, when you go walking in the woods at this time of night, when it's dusk time and getting dark, you do end up disturbing a lot of birds from their sleep, and they go fluttering off, and yeah, can be a bit shocking sometimes when there's quite a few of them and you disturb them as you're traipsing through the forest, especially at night, and they just like all of a sudden, boom, that's it, they flutter away from the treetops. Okay, this is the first one. I'll just show you. Don't know if you can see that. Okay. Now, I must admit, I've got back cam footage, so I was wearing a back cam at that time. So when I go through that, I'm going to put that on as well. Hopefully, that would have caught something as well, Cole. You know, we would have got something.
Yeah, like I said, 100% it's BA, and it was a lot. I mean, I could hear it. I mean, you had your whatever you was doing with your recorder, but you know, it was so loud and heavy. That's why I come out. I couldn't see anybody, and I thought it must be the trick of the light. That's why I come back around. Come round at the back of you or side of you to see who it was. There was nobody there.
Very odd, isn't it?
It was very loud. I can't understand why you didn't hear it. I know you was talking and doing your stuff, like, but yeah. Hopefully we can enhance it and it's picked up a little bit better. Whatever it was.
We've got Keith Aston said there is a different sound. Sounds like a grunt.
This was definitely footsteps, very heavy, like a big strad as well.
Yeah.
But nothing there. We couldn't see it. Well, I couldn't see anything.
I didn't notice anything at the time. It wasn't until he told me, and I thought, oh, you know. But yeah, with Keith Aston, sounds like a grunt. It's funny you mention that because, of course, the story goes that there was a Pigman. There's a Pigman dating back to the 1940s when it was first, like, kind of conceived, if you like, literally. It was a bit of an experiment, meant to have been an experiment, because there's also, I've heard said, Stuart can put me right, because it was Stuart that told me this story, but that it was an experiment with a lady and kind of genetic manipulation with a pig, if you like, and yeah, and hence Pigman. But it sounds ridiculous, sounds absurd, but people have witnessed this thing. So when you say grunt, that was like sort of rang alarm bells with me. Thanks for that, Keith. Ready, steady. Let's have a look what you said. Oh, no, let's take that down. Regarding your back cam footage, have you considered just putting it online so people can go through it for you, Dornio? Yeah. No, I have done that, but do you know? I think what it is with the background back cam footage, the camera's good, but the microphone is just worthless, absolutely useless. It's one of those that police and security use, and it clips on. It's a largish black box that clips on with a camera and got a red light on it when it's recording usually, and boom, boom, boom. So it is for images, so the police and security can actually catch a face to, you know, kind of a wrong deed. So the camera's really good, but the microphone's a bit tinny and a bit crap. So that's why I didn't. I can put it on, but the problem is, it's. I don't know if you're going to have the patience. I don't know if anyone's going to have the patience to go through hours and hours of back camera footage going backwards. It's like looking out of the back of a car when you're a kid. After a while, it kind of messes with your head, and the sound wise is rubbish. So what I was thinking of doing was putting. I usually marry up the back cam footage to the front cam footage, and then do a split screen. So I think that may work out better. Then that way, if there's anything people see in front and it goes behind, bingo, bango, bongo, you've got it. You've got a linear trail of it. You know, that's what I'm hoping. And that goes for things like orbs, and that goes for things like anything else that we might see, or vice versa from the back going forward. But I think back cam footage just on its own, loaded up. I mean, we're seriously talking about hours here, hours. So I don't know if that's. I can see what you mean, but I'll give it some thought still. Right, okay. So that was that. That was quite a good one. Right. Oh, this is a little one of that. You know that image that I showed you of that dark entity creature in the woods with the ears, looked like it had ears. Carl me saw. There's a little bit of video footage of it. Okay. As I say, it's a short little bit. I'm not sure.
Tip of the nose.
Was that before I blew the whistle, Phil?
That was before we blew the whistle. That was before we blew the whistle.
Yeah, definitely see the tip of the nose.
To me, its head slightly moves, but
yeah, it's dipped.
It's a strange one. It is an odd one.
Phil, you know in the picture that you showed at the beginning of it, the second one is behind it, up at the 11 o'clock position, looking right at you.
This one?
Yeah. So if you go up to 11 o'clock, in between the trees, the second one's right there.
I see what you mean, yeah.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. Okay. Yeah, yeah. All right, let me go back to the video and see. I see what you mean. Oh, hang on a minute. So I'll get there. Wait there, guys. I'll give you a headache. Right, okay. Okay, it's 11 o'clock.
Don't move. I can see. Yeah, and I can see like eyes and a nose. But
right, so the tree is behind. The tree's partially behind. If you lift up just a bit, it's right there.
Okay.
Can you see it, Phil?
So you got the one crouching down behind the tree.
Yeah.
Then just above it, if you're looking directly on to the left, slightly up, the second one's there.
But that big tree in the middle, if you go up halfway to your left, it's there.
Got you. Yeah.
See it?
Yes, I do see it. Yes, yes, I do.
When because when we were walking along the path, I was taking a couple of pictures and a bit of a short video. There was two, but there was a big one and a small one.
Right.
And I think they're the ones that were following us on the left of us, on the left side.
There was definitely something following us, wasn't they?
Yeah, and as we got closer towards the castle ring, I think they must have split, because I think the little one was certainly with me, because I got that picture of it, and I think probably the bigger one was tracking you two.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring your images up now to see if they look like that. Right, okay, I'm going to share screen now temporarily. Okay, right. Okay, I'm doing it this way because I'm able to, let's just see if it works on StreamYard. Yes, it does. Okay, I'm doing it this way because then I can move it around, you see? So I'm able to move it a little bit. Right, where are we looking here?
Right, the tree immediately on the left, nearest to us.
That one there.
Yeah. So you got the leaves there.
Yeah.
Slightly to your right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there, just where that white marker is, right there underneath.
Okay, got it. So there, roughly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it seems to be very dark there, doesn't it? I was looking also around here.
Yeah. I really. That's why I took the picture.
Just there.
Yeah, because it was.
Can you see that?
Yep.
See that? If it is, that's a big bugger. That is a big bugger.
I think it's the same two that literally when we walked in from the camp, when we walked across the road from the campsite, they were literally there, I think, waiting for us.
Okay. I've got another photo as well. Right. I'll expand this one up a bit. Where are we looking here in?
Right there, where that white marker is.
Ah, where this is.
Yeah, so there, that's the head. And one of the ears just sticking up.
Okay.
Right in between the trees.
There, yeah. Okay. Right. Well, let us know in the comments as well, people. You know what you think. That I must admit that does look like fur to me, rather than bark or wood. That does look like yeah, it does look like fur to me. But it's a shame because a lot of times when we get these photos, they're so far away because they're kind of okay, right. So this is another one. This is another photo that you took of the same position. So Ian saying that just here was one.
It's gone,
Which I
hasn't it?
can see, yeah. And let's have a look in a distance as well. Yeah, yeah. That may be as well. No, but yeah. If it is, it's a big one, right? Okay, another one. Oh, that's a closer up of the tree.
That's a close up.
Right. Okay, that was random picture. Ah, right. Okay. Here we go. Right. Now I take it you mean around here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let me just and also probably here as well. Right, let me just get in a bit more. Yeah. Yeah. Does look like it's almost moving in the left-hand direction on screen as well. Okay. Can you guys see this okay?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. I thought I'd do it this way
Yeah,
because
really
I'm able
good.
to zoom it. I'm able to zoom it a bit better. All right. Okay. Right then, let me just stop that. Right. Okay. So yeah, no, that was I must admit that's the thing, you know. It's the oddest thing. Got really good forest, and you get that feeling where you just have to stop and think, hang on, there's something following. But when you go and take a photo, the flipping things are miles away. Like kind of on purpose, like done a runner, they're miles away. And it's like, it's so frustrating. You need like a thousand telephoto lens or something to try and get them. It's really like kind of the way they work is it's so absurd. I've said this before. I said this to the guy. I'm sure they do things like a lot of paranormal situations, because I think a lot of things will muddled up in the same thing, and I'm sure they make it absurd so it sounds absurd when we repeat it or show it. You know, a lot of times people at home are going to think, oh, what, these 3 old buggers, what are they on about? It's just like a bit of lens there. There's a bit of lens there. Well, you know, when you're there, the thing is, when you're there, which is very hard to portray on a live like this. You can't portray this, but let me tell you that that feeling and together with the sounds that you hear, odd sounds, we'll get to that in a minute, odd sounds and that feeling of being watched, and it all comes together and it's part and parcel, you know, of the whole enigma. And you can't explain that fully. All we can do is show you photos. That's the only thing we have got to show you, which is very frustrating for us, believe you me. Right, okay, I've got a little bit more footage. This one is right, okay, we're in the woods and Ian was on the other side of this, like a woodland track. Okay, so he was on the woodland track. Colin and myself, we decided, we'll kind of go off into the woods, but parallel with Ian, if you know what I mean. Okay, so he had a good bird's eye view. He was our point man, if you like. That's what we called him. He was like kind of up ahead, and he had a good bird's eye view of what is coming towards us. We, on the other hand, were in the woods, following the track, parallel, and getting some really strange stuff. Now, once again, if you've got earphones, wear earphones. Okay, I'm not going to shout, all right, and I don't want to wind you up or anything like that. Right, but I would on this next bit of film. If not, when you play it back at some later stage, wear some earphones just until I can get all this footage kind of done. Right, I'm gonna play it now. I bet he's worked his way up. Go and have a pee then. No one's stopping you. Go over there, it's a big tree.
Phil, can't hear you.
Yeah, right. Sorry. What you can hear in the background, okay, is barking, growling and barking. We heard like less growling, but more barking, in the distance. Okay, that's what you can hear now at the moment. But when I roll this footage on a little bit, it gets to a point where we heard most unusual buzzing. Now it was, sometimes like you get crickets and sometimes frogs where they'll kind of like make out that single tone kind of vibrational. No, it's not like but it went on and it didn't change in pitch, did it, Cole?
It was mechanical, wasn't it? We thought, well, we said it was mechanical.
Mm.
It was like I thought it was coming from underneath, but I don't know. It's weird, wasn't it?
Could well, yeah. It was the most bizarre thing to listen to. So I might move it along a little bit so you can hear it. All right, hang on. Let's have a look. There's an X over there. X. Branch is made into an X. It's a real clear X as well.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Oh, I think back there was where we saw. Yeah, that's the X. And I think when we were in that woods, we saw the teepee structure as well. things like that. Do you think, guys, that is like kind of a natural occurrence?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But
Tell
who's
you what,
placed it
'cause yeah, what other if it was going to be kids or you know, human made, then what would the care taken to do that mean? Why go to the bother of collecting the sticks to do that? Because chances are, look, no one's really going to see it. I mean, if it was me and I was a kid, say, or I just decided to do a Blair Witch on someone, I would probably make it more into a figure. You know, I would kind of put two arms, stick going across, like you know, two, yeah, you know, two legs, two arms, and maybe a acorn on top for a small head or something. I don't know, but I wouldn't just put X's. But we keep finding these things in the forest.
Did, yeah.
Yeah. Carl. You're right. Ah. Move it forward a bit because I think it's a bit forward. There's an X over there. X.
Yeah, it's back there.
There we go. Right, Cole spotted it first or heard it first.
Yeah. You hear that? Yeah. That's deer. That's deer.
What's that buzzing sound?
Yeah, it's back there. You know when I was having a piece of pea on that tree? It's coming from that way.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's really clear. It's like it's just continuous buzzing. Yeah.
Oh, they're back in, Lord.
Right. Weird. I've never heard anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Not that buzzing, no.
Yeah, I am. As soon as that's that wheel on the feet started doing it.
Yeah, I thought it was your torch or something. I thought maybe it's...
But with that
Right.
buzzer, I thought it was further down, but when we come back, it seemed to be at your feet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a bit, you know.
As I say, it's like I'll get all the footage and I'll enhance the sound. This is just really kind of because we only got back a day or two ago. So you know, it wasn't long we've been back, so it's just kind of muddling together. I wanted to do a Friday night so that I could show people what we've been up to, you know, what we've been doing basically. But I'm going to fine tune all of this. But it was a very strange sound, mechanical, definitely mechanical.
There was a couple of gas pipelines through the area as
coming
well.
across my mind as well, a blockage, well, not a blockage, but an air pocket
Yeah, or something
I work in
moving.
the gas industry, and I've heard similar, but not like that.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah, we put a trail cam sort of like beyond one of them pipelines, but we've got out off that. But yeah, thoughts crossed my mind, Ian, as well. Was it that vibrating or?
Yeah, but I mean, I thought it might be frogs, because I know we passed a couple of streams and there was that huge pond we passed as well. I thought maybe something there, but
yeah, but they have a certain turn, then it goes up and down, doesn't it? In turn with frogs. That was constant one pitch.
Yeah. It was strange.
It was.
It was almost like I had like kind of earwax at one time, sort of build up of earwax, and it's a strange thing. I thought it was like tinnitus. I could hear like a sort of constant buzzing. Like a Ian, do you know what that is? Do you know why you can? Yeah, do you know when you get like tinnitus and
ringing it? No, I mean, I've had.
I don't.
Do you know? I've only actually started having tinnitus since I started doing this line of research.
Okay.
I mean, normally in the woods, it's when I get a ringing, I always think it's something to do with them, but I really don't know. I'll be honest, I hardly know anything about it, and I just get the ringing in my ears. And normally it's, I know 5-10 minutes something's about to happen.
Well, I kind of like had one ear which was kind of like ringing, my left ear, and it was like kind of ringing. It's been doing that for a little while now, and I thought, I wonder what's causing that. And to be honest, going to the doctor is an absolute mare. They've been good with me. I've they've been good with me in my leg, and the operation, everything else has been great. I can't fault them. Brilliant service. But the local GP's nightmare trying to get, and if I always feel a bit like I'm really taking a mickey if I go and say, well, one ear I got like this kind of noise in it, like rushing kind of noise. And I was looking up online, and they said it could be because of earwax. So I got some Otex, or what it was called, a spray, and it's like this olive oil kind of spray, and you put it in your ear and let it go, and it helps. It helps a lot. It's sort of like eradicated it, and I've only been on it for a couple of days now. It's really helped. Yeah. What it is, evidently, not all of it, but sometimes when you get it, especially when because you can't hear out that ear properly, your brain fills in the sound, and it kind of creates this sound of rushing. Yeah, I've read it up online, and it creates this sound of rushing to fill in the blank, if you like. So it's your brain making this noise that you're hearing in your head. Your brain's making it, and I was like, well, that's incredible, absolutely incredible. But yeah, I don't know. That's a bit of a segue onto the buzzing. Yeah, it's ready, steady, retro. Hello, mate. How you doing for it?
Yeah, that's true.
It's so interesting how often a mechanical noise comes up all over the world. Yeah, I know. I did a audio. I do a lot of audio every now and then, where I just like dump MP3 player overnight somewhere in the deepest part of the wood. And I did one in local wood to me, where I've had a lot of sightings. And once again, it's online, it's on YouTube, but you can quite clearly hear, like I heard in this forest, like a door closing, an actual door closing. It had that metallic tone to it, and it's like odd, really, really odd. It's like, that's so out of place, and you think to yourself, maybe it's a car, but hang on a minute, the car's like in this forest, it's miles away.
I was going to say it was miles away when you heard that, wasn't it?
And it doesn't help as well, because the woods absorb sound as well. They absorb sound, so any car noise would be quickly absorbed by the woods. But metallic sound like that buzzing, very, very strange. Okay.
Nice.
Oh, Keith said, do you think it could be air blowing through a gas pipe? I think we covered that.
We just Colin and I just mentioned that, or it could be something passing through. Yeah.
I don't think it was though, personally, not by
No, I
hand.
don't. I've worked in the gas industry, as you know, and we've come across this. I've heard sort of like roughly similar noises, but it's when gas has got trapped in a valve or something, but not like that. Not what we.
It did seem to be sort of like more outside.
It was weird.
You know what that means, but it was weird. Honestly, it was bizarre, without a doubt.
Couldn't track it. I thought it was coming further down the hill. But until we was coming back out of the woods, it seemed to be at my feet. So it was just hard to track the noise. Really.
Yeah.
The thing that got me with the noise is I was waiting for it to die down for whatever was making the noise to take a breath. It was continuous.
Yeah.
If it was an animal, I was waiting for it to just take a breath and start up again, but it didn't. It's just continuous buzzing.
Actually, Phil, where you're stopped now, could you zoom right in, because there's a very black object.
That's where that structure was. Yeah.
I can't zoom in on this one. No, I can't. I'll tell you why, because this is loaded up onto the actual app. Your ones I can, because I pulled them off a file on the computer, so I was able to play with them on. I can't do that, but you mean in the middle here?
Yeah, where there's like a twig hanging down right in the middle.
That's where I dragged Phil when we come back from that.
Right, there's a real dark black mass right there.
There, right in the middle, more or less.
Yeah.
Okay, right. What do I play it? I mean, I think we're going to find an awful lot on all the footage that we've taken. We're going to find an awful lot in retrospect when we look back. I think we're going to see an awful lot of movement, a lot of other Dogman entities popping up.
Look at that kitty.
Ooh,
that's a lovely one. Just look how elaborate that is. That is very elaborate.
Okay, I'm playing this for a reason. The reason is because I heard footsteps, and I told Cole at the time, I can hear footsteps.
Actually, Phil, if you go later on when you have time, and you go back to the part where you're approaching it, there's something lower left that looked like a pair of eyes looking up at you.
Right, let me go back. Right, okay. I can do really frame by frame.
Right there. Oh, Lord.
Go back. There.
Go forward. It's just to the left of the structure, and as you walk, right, yeah, there's wait a minute.
See there.
That's a lovely one.
Ian.
Just look how elaborate that is.
Oh, there is it.
No, it's just to the left of the tree. But as you approach it, they're all right there. You can see the head.
Okay, right. Oh, in between those two trees.
Lower left, literally at ground level.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's dark, yeah. It's difficult until I go through it, and I'll blow that up though. I'll blow that up and have a little look at that, Ian, and see.
That's a lovely one. Just look how elaborate that is.
Yeah.
That is very elaborate. Okay. Yeah. Normally what we do is stick this somewhere. Right. Yeah, it's fine. Right, stick that there. Right, I'll turn this off. And then, okay, so I've got a K2 meter down here. Okay, that gives us the any EMF, electromagnetic frequency, which in nature there should not be any. Right, I'm going to turn the light out, okay, so you can see better. I think that's only fair. It's very bright, that one. Okay. This is a trimeter. Okay. So we got here radio frequency within normal range, which could be from cell tower. EMF, the same as this meter. Okay, that one's pinging up amber. That one's pinging up amber. Radio frequency is very high. Just heard over there, Cole. Yeah. Over there, I heard stepping on twigs. Okay, as I see on here, just Cole's just gone over to have a little look because I heard definitely some stepping on twigs. Now, it could be a deer, could be an awful lot of things. But in somewhere as dense as this, even though you can hear traffic, don't be fooled. It's not far, the traffic, but it might as well be a million miles away. If you're in here, especially without any lights, you will get lost.
Okay, so before the stepping sound, you could hear like a movement. Just, but once again, I'm going to enhance it all. But you could hear movement, and I heard it quite clearly. I know that Fuzzo Fox also said that he saw eyes as well. And also Ian Keith said, yeah, seen them. Yeah, Dornio. Yeah, 2 there. So yeah, you're quite right. There's people seeing it.
I know what you picked up. We kept hearing voices, didn't we, as well?
Yeah.
Even that morning when I went in on my own to get some of the trail cameras, I could. There was voices again. Don't know if it was sound carrying or paranormal or what. I don't know what it was, to be honest.
Yeah, it's because we kept hearing those voices, didn't we?
Well, we did as we was climbing up, weren't we, up there, up that ridge?
Yeah. Now there was one section we went to. It's quite late at night. This was. It was about. I think it was about 10, half 10 by the time we got to this section of the wood. And this section is totally untouched, like Cole said earlier. Totally untouched. There was no litter there. You know, there wasn't any telltale sign. It was totally off piste. It was totally off track. And I just sort of saw it and I thought, do you know what? I just fancy going up there. Because you get a feeling and just, I'm going to go up there. But it was a hard slog getting up there. But it freaked Cole out. Colin got a bit, he did not like this place at all. I've got a bit of that footage I'm going to show you as well. See what you think if you went there at night. Let's have a look. Okay.
tree snap there. I'd say it's about 3 foot up.
Okay. I'll take it back a bit. I just want to show you something. Well, it's not very long, so I'm just going to play it.
That's fine, that's fine. Okay, what Colin's doing is he's just scanning the area because we've been following the path. It's gotten darker and darker, it's gotten deeper and deeper into the woods. We've heard what sounded like a tree falling, and as you can see, it's very still. There's no wind. We've had the feeling of being watched from earlier when Colin heard the footsteps. Should we continue on? That's a good beam.
That is a good beam.
Yeah, that's a good beam.
Not as good as the other one. Well, I can't see out. I don't know what the heck it was.
I don't know. I heard something very heavy, almost like it was coming through, something heavy or big coming through the or a tree or branch coming through. On this, we want to show you, basically the whole point of this film is we want to really show you how it is when you come out into a large wood like this.
Phil, get here.
Well,
Phil.
Sorry about that. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to mention. I wanted to mention that I posted a link, all right, to this stream. All right. If you want to click on the link and you want to come on and ask any questions, or if you've got accounts of yourself of Cannock Chase, then click on the link either on YouTube, on my posting, or on Facebook. If you've got questions for the guys, or you've got questions for myself, or your own accounts of what you've seen there. It's a free for all. This is all right. It's not mine. It's everyone's. So Roxy B's in charge of that. She'll talk to you and then bring you on in a little while so you can have a little chat.
There's been a few killings there, deaths and murders, haven't they? That's a stretch of word.
Was that on the road where you were? There has been a few. Oh right. Okay. Oh wow.
Phil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Where Cole extends the width of the flashlight about a minute back, where you both stood there and you're trying to look into the tree line and further back, and then he opens the aperture, more or less in the middle. There's a big black object.
If that's what we heard.
Maybe.
Definitely loud and big coming through.
It's more or less right in front of Cole. Yeah, I think that's where it was. And you pan round to the left, but like
No. I'll go for it in.
all right.
Let's bring it onto the part where we're going up then. Okay, this is where we come up.
Shining. Definitely something shining. I don't know if the camera picked that up. Let's zoom in a little bit. Definitely saw something shining. Two dots shining. Yeah, like I shine. 2 dots shining.
I'll take that back a little bit.
There. Between the 2 trees. Get the torch. There. Right there.
Yeah.
Between the 2 trees. There's something between the 2 trees to the left. That's it there. Something shining there was.
Is he?
Yeah. Something shining. Definitely something shining. I don't know if the camera picked that up. Let's zoom in a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely saw something shining. Two dots shining. Yeah, that guy shining. 2 dots shining. No particular colour. It was just a bright shine.
You're there, yeah.
No particular colour.
Yeah,
Yeah, just as the torch pulls away, there's a little shine.
I saw that.
It's right there in front of you, right behind the tree. There,
We felt
that
like
thing.
there was something watching us at the time. We did say.
There, right there in the middle, where those 2 trees are, on the right.
Yeah. I see it. Just showing itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Keith says,
Right,
looks like
there's
Zanu, a big Bigfoot looking man tree. Yeah.
I agree with him.
I agree.
And just as Cole pulls away to the left, there's a brief, very quick bit of eye.
I saw something black move really quick, just as it was pulling away. Yeah, I don't know. Right, let's play it.
All right, then. All right, we'll crack on. Thanks, Cole. Yeah. Okay. Now, of course, you have to be aware that what we're doing is kind of there's a path here. That looks a good path. I like that path.
A bit of self-reassurance.
I know.
Cole was like, no, I don't like that path.
Let's see how much. Let's have a little wander up here. I haven't been up this path ever before, but let's try and go into the forest a bit. Remember,
Keep
this
your eyes
ground is
open.
great to walk on. It's not too bad, but it's very soft. Can't hit anything behind us. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like yeah, this has been used, this pathway. There's a lot of sticks and debris, but the actual path itself is quite clear. So this is a trail. What have we got there? Cross. Yeah. Another X.
Okay, stop it now. I'm going to take it back a little thing. Am I the only one that can hear? I was going through the footage before, yeah, to see what am I going to put up? Which of the footage should I put up for the live? When I listened to this before, I can hear a deep humming, like a deep, I don't know, vibration. Let me take that back a bit.
Yeah.
See if you can hear it. It's not the camera. I know that for a fact because I've lived with this camera for quite a few years now.
Another X.
Okay, need to go back a bit.
This is a trail. What have we got there?
That.
Cross. Yeah.
I can hear it clearly because I've got earphones.
Another X.
Listen back to it.
Let's go. Let's go a bit deeper in. All right.
Almost like infrasound it was.
Okay. Right. A lot of debris on the floor. Okay. Okay, I'm going to try something. Can you hold that for me? I'm going to just...
Yeah.
That's it. Right, I'm going to just knock the tree, okay?
Yeah.
Right, with my stick. Okay, guys. I'm going to do. I'm going to knock the tree. Okay. You can hear traffic. There's a road just down that gully down there. Okay. Now we're about, I'd say about 300, 250 to 300 metres away from that road. So it's a little way away, but you can hear it. But nevertheless, you don't have to go very far in this forest to be in the thick of it. Come on up, Rog. Okay. What we're looking for really is eye shine. And, oh, that's nice up there. Right, we're looking for eye shine and evidence of nests. Yeah, careful with that one. Damage, nests especially. Heavy going up this place. It's so soft underfoot. It's almost like skiing on this stuff. It's quite dodgy stuff because you can't hear anything. It's so soft. Let's have a look. This is what we got to do. It's like got to go off piste a little bit. Go off the. You okay? Right. Got to go off piste. You keep to the track. You're not going to find anything. These creatures are not stupid. They know the walkways and byways. Tree snap there. I'd say it's about 3 foot up. Another tree snap here. I mean, in all fairness, that's very old wood. That's like balsa wood. But this one's a very strange shape. You can see that. Now that, to me, almost looks like a gate. Like you find in a farmer's field, like a sty. And that to me is like, do not enter. My territory, do not enter. So let's have a look. Right. There's a lot of debris. There's an awful lot of debris down here. This is not plain sailing. This is interesting. This path, it looks like a small gully, trackway. Now, it could be a case that it's some water. It is flowing downhill. Could have been excess water flowing down a natural water gully. What's that over there? Let's have a look, follow it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Is it?
Yeah. I like this. Okay, what I'm going to do, this is a better tree over here. Right. It's absolutely very, very slippery because there's so many needles on the ground. Okay, I'm going to just do a tree knock. Okay. Because if you can see just over there, there's nothing but it's definitely a feeling in this place.
It is. Bad feeling.
Yeah, it is a bad feeling.
I've got a bad feeling. Mega
Yeah.
bad.
Okay, I'm going to do a tree knock here. Okay, 3 knocks.
Right. Can anyone hear after I did the tree knock, like far away, like kind of or deep, like gurgling or
Yeah.
like a almost sounds like this, right? And it looks stupid now, there.
Yeah.
Now, don't screenshot that, whatever you do, all right, and post it. All right. The only one that sees me like that is my dentist. But I could hear that. I could hear that on the footage, and I didn't hear it at the time. But I heard that on the footage when I was like choosing which one. I thought that's a bit odd, and I thought maybe it's me. But hearing it again, especially with these on, it's quite clear. It's really quite clear. Cole, before we see the end of this one, can I ask you what was? Can you sort of sum up the feeling how you felt there?
Not like fear, but something was telling me, let's get out of here. I kept saying to you, didn't I? I've just got a bad feeling about this. Then I started to feel claustrophobic. I started to feel a bit sick. Throat started to hurt, and I said, I need to go. I need to go. So it was real weird, wasn't it? I said to you a bit later on, I've never felt like that before. I just started to. I don't get claustrophobic, and as you can see, there seems to be a lot of space, but everything just seemed to start closing in on me. But all the time I kept saying to you, I've just got a bad feeling. I've got a bad feeling, and I like to get out of places when I have that feeling.
Yeah. What do you think, Ian? Looking at that place.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely had that, like some sort of verbal audio, very low key, but just to back up what Carl says, I mean, if you get a real bad vibe, you got to go because it's whether that's being projected on you, sort of like, all right, you've had your fun now, please go, and it sort of projects fear on
That's
you,
what
or you're genuinely picking up like this is not a good place to be.
That's what I kept feeling, Ian.
Yeah, then you got to go.
Okay, thank you. Right, there's plenty in.
Three more knocks.
Right. All right, listen, I done 3 knocks. I counted out 3 knocks and that was it, right? But I just heard a very subtle knock afterwards. Hang on a minute.
I think you need a heavy, like a baseball bat we should carry next time.
Maybe.
Type of
3 more knocks.
I did not knock it again. That was just 3 knocks. I did not knock it again. I swear. Okay, right. That was that. Very interesting place that one was. I must admit that was very, very interesting.
I'd like to go back, see if they get the same feeling.
Phil, in the last couple of seconds of that video, the shot,
Mm.
Very, very slippery because there's so many needles on the ground. Okay, I'm going to just do a tree knock.
Okay.
Because if you can see just over there, there's nothing, but it's definitely a feeling in this place.
It is. Bad feeling.
Yeah, it is a bad feeling.
I've got a bad feeling. Mega bad.
Okay, I'm going to do a tree knock here. Okay, 3 knocks.
more or less towards the end, where the torchlight is shining on a couple of trees. Right.
Further on.
Right. No. I think where that tree closest to you. Go back. Right. No. Right there. No.
There.
No. A bit. 1 second further. Right. Stop right there.
Yeah.
Where the branch, that stump or whatever is closest right to you.
Mm.
Now in the foreground to the left, there's something in there.
Okay, so like in the center to the left of center.
So right at the very right hand side of the screen, you know where you got that tree stump right in front of you, where it's illuminated the most.
Yeah.
Right. Then left of it, you got a bit of a slight gap, and then right in the foreground, there's a bit of a tree, and then there's another one.
Yeah.
There's something in between there.
I think I see what you mean.
Yeah. It's a shape, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shape.
There's a shape there, but what is it?
Okay. All right. Well spotted. And well spotted as well, Keith. And of course, eagle-eyed Dornio. Yeah. Interesting, isn't it?
I think further along there might be another one.
Okay, we'll take that back. I'll do it frame by frame. Okay, that's the end of it.
Yeah, right there in the middle.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the
Well spotted.
where the tree's slightly off to the right.
Yeah.
right behind there.
Like a V type of.
Yeah.
Mm.
You see the face.
What I'm going to do, I'll highlight this. I'll kind of adjust all the contrast and everything else on it and see if I can't bring that one out a bit more. I'll have to do that. Yeah. I mean, you know, it was a brilliant place. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it was made all the better really because it was like I was with a couple of I consider really good friends now. And I thank you both. You know, really enjoyed it. I really did.
Excellent.
But would you go back?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tomorrow.
You would. Okay. And what I was thinking, I was talking to Cole, you know, and I think next time I think what we should do is with the walkie-talkies have a spread. So get off the path, get into the forest, get into the shite basically. And with walkie-talkies, and have a spread of what, say, 100 meters or less than that, 50 meters each, 50 meters each with walkies, and just kind of go in a line, a single line, straight, you know, sort of like across. And I think start off with go up to the Castle Mount.
I agree.
I think we I know you're gonna dislike it, Ian, but I think we have got to do it. Start off about 10:30.
Yeah.
Because I think if we want to get down to the bottom of what there is there, we do have to go on their own time. I understand what Ian said to be a very wise words. Actually, Ian said, "Look, Phil, we're able to go. People are able to go to these places, right, out in the forests, where stuff does go on. We're able to go in it, but from 11 till 7, isn't it? You said 11 till 4.
11 till 4.
11 till 4. That's their time. But I think personally, it's just as much my time. If I'm willing to go out there, then they have to share it with us. Whether they like it or not, they're going to have to share it. If they want to frighten us out there, that's fine, but they have to share it with us. I've been out in woods at that time before now. Scary, especially when you're on your own, but you got to do it. It's the same with the paranormal people. I know with Stuart, he's very brave. Stuart is, and Stuart stays out all night. It doesn't stop. It just like will stay out. Whereas a lot of paranormal people, they just kind of like, oh no, they'll only go if they're in a big team of 10 or something, which you don't get anything there. But I think next time we'll do that. And I think we just like kind of big boy pants. We'll just go out and we'll just do it. And I think that would be the best thing. You know, we'll kind of with walkie-talkies, we're great. We'll be okay.
Yeah, good. I'd like to just start off a little bit early, but sit there for an hour. That's what I usually do when I go into some woods. I usually sit down for at least an hour, just listen, watch and listen.
And that's a regret. That's a regret. When we were going off on the first night, I really wanted to stay where we were, but that buzzing and the structure that we saw, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Ready, steady, retro. I'm interested to know if the humming mechanical noises are being heard in just certain UK woods and forests or all UK woods.
That's very interesting. I hadn't heard it in Dane's Dyke or any other forest that I've done. That's the only one I've heard it in.
That was the first time for me, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Could be them gas pipes. Don't know.
Oops, sorry. Okay. If you look on my videos, you'll see audio only. One of the recent ones I did was in a wood where I captured a lot of very strange noises, growls, and this is like kind of early in the morning. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. I do put the timestamps on it, but and you'll hear I'm not there. I just dumped a recorder because it's winter time. There's no way I'm going out. It's bad enough with these fellas when we went at night. It was flipping cold in the tent. But this was about October, November time. All I've done, I put a dog poo bag. I put the MP3 player in that, knotted it because it's a really thin plastic, and then I put it on a tree. Don't put it on the ground, because if you put it on the ground, you'll get insects and other things creeping over it, and it will give false sound. But try and hang it up somewhere. Then that way, if it does make a sound of banging or knocking or wind, that's accountable. You can account for that. Anything else? But there was mechanical sounds on that one. There's another recording which I made in the heading of the recording is 300-year-old wood or 900-year-old wood, metallic sounds and chanting. Put the recorder there, left it all night. Guess what? Metallic sounds, door closing. Then straight afterwards, I heard this. You can hear on the recording chanting. And this wind, like a portal wind coming after the door closes. It's like a wind, like a portal almost, like what, but nothing else was moving. You can hear wind in the forest because you can hear the trees going, you can hear the leaves, you can hear, but this wasn't. This was a strange sound. I'll get those video. I'll put the link up on here for them. Have a little listen, leave a comment, see what you think, okay? Because I think that's a good way of doing it. I've heard mechanical sounds quite a lot in woods personally. Yeah, Keith,
I've never had them on the recorders that I've left. I've never had any mechanical. I've had voices and like you say, all sorts. I've had howling and but nothing anything mechanical. It's the first time I've actually heard it in where we've been, Cannock Chase.
I think it's sort of. I think that it's kind of everywhere, and I think it has got something to do with the actual area, with the trees. It's a bit Jedi, isn't it? It is a bit Jedi. It's kind of like the force is all around us and all living things. It could well be that fact. But. It's and also you got to think to yourself, 13% of the UK woods and forests, that's not a lot. Are they getting more condensed? Are they getting more packed in? Is portals, which they probably are, or sort of thinning of the realm, if you like, is it a case that that Cannock has a long history of having a portal there? And I think there is one there, and I think that's where a lot of these entities do come through from. And I've got theories as well. You've read my theories on Facebook about a lot of these entities being kind of, on a separate timeline to us that we see as avatars. But like two trains passing. As two trains pass, okay, Dogman's on one, we're on another. We can't see it. It can't see us. We can't see it. But as the trains go past, one window sees the other. My God, we see Dogman. But then, like Dogman, it disappears. It goes again. The reason we find it hard to shoot these things, especially in the States, not over here, but is because the speed of a bullet, the speed of a bullet traveling, as it's traveling, it's got a set position, a set speed. So as it's traveling, hey, guess what? That train Dogman's on is slightly quicker than the speed we're moving at. Okay, so as it's moving quicker, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that a bullet's flying towards it, because it's not going to hurt it, because it's on a different speed. It's almost is like an avatar. There's only one place we see it and it sees us, and that is at the divergence, the Dogman divergence, when both windows are exactly in the same position. So it's a fleeting glimpse, but that's just a theory that I've come up with only from experience of seeing these things myself, because I know how they just boom disappear all of a sudden or morph out. I believe these tree features are portals. What do you think on tree features? What do you reckon, guys?
Go on, Ian.
It's probably a language all in itself, especially with the glyphs. I mean, snapping trees at the base at right angles, I'm not sure about. Like I say, the double one was for a bed. Snapping trees in half and then shoving them in the top of another tree, that's for cubs and the like. To be honest, I think that's a whole research
In itself,
field in itself.
Yeah, it did.
Well, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking of the X's and the Y's, and a lot of times,
A lot of markers, aren't they?
yeah, and I think there's a strong correlation between those because they're so, and because they're so structured, and they're not by accident because they're symmetric. Okay, they're symmetrical. A square is going to be a square, and you think, hang on, they always say there's no straight lines in nature, and it makes you think, hang on, there is no straight lines in nature, really? No, there's not. So why are these arrays of branches and twigs in straight lines? Why are they in straight lines? Why are they symmetrical to each other? And it reminded me, I thought, do you know what? And you often find them flat on the ground. Not always like kind of propped up against a tree or dug into the ground. And it reminded me of crop circles, the actual symmetric shapes. And I thought, it's almost like a crop circle of the forest. It's a lot of times I think with, like, take that instance with the this thing. Hang on a minute. And this is very well made, right? This one. Okay. This was very well made, really well made, because at the rear of it was like a den, if you like, and it was covered up with, so the closer to the right hand side is the den part. Okay. And there was 3 entrances and 3 exits in there. So it could get out quick if it needed to get out quick. Wasn't big. It must have been a youngster or made for a youngster. But it was insulated. Very rarely you find that. Especially rare that you find one section of it insulated. So let's just say it's bushcraft, right? And say some guy like, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a bushcraft teepee and I put my tarp over the top. Well, that's not going to do it. You're going to have a very, very wet night that night, mate, because you have to really use what they call a spud. Okay, and the spud trims the branches so it gets all the sharp bits off so it doesn't tear your tarp. You don't leave extra long branches at the top. So when you put the tarp over, they flip up. It doesn't make any sense. If you don't have a tarp, then there would be surrounding that area, there'd be litter in the form of ferns. Because they would be used to give you a roof. A rudimentary protection from the weather. That's not the case. What the case is, I believe, on this is it is a small den. It is a small nest. And I think they're very cleverly, they know where the path was. So if you continue to the left, you would bump into a path where people go walking. They go walking on that path. It's a little ways away, but there is a path there. So these branches are on the left-hand side, put up like they are, almost like protection,
like spears, aren't they, hanging out towards the path?
Yeah, it's hanging out towards the path. We spotted it, other people can spot it, but if you try to, it just allows whatever's living in there or sleeping in there, especially at night, not saying during the day, but at night, if it's using it as a hide of some sort, it gives it time to escape before anything can come up and get it. Because I wouldn't be able to get close to that thing, especially at night, because if you look at those branches, they're all out, a bit like years ago when there used to be, I remember seeing William Wallace, with Mel Gibson, and they used spears for the horses. So if the heavy horses come towards them, their spears would be dug into the ground and they would spear the horses. Very effective, cruel, but very effective. The same principle, I believe, goes here for this. And I think it is protection for that nest. It's that's what I believe. A certain degree of camouflage and protection, definitely, because nothing could get to it in quick enough without it leaving one of the 3 entrances that I spotted. And that is an absolutely fantastic example that we saw. So, but with the rest, with the symmetrical side of things, yeah, it reminds me an awful lot of crop circles that they do. Some kind of communication, not to us, forget us.
Yeah.
We put ourselves on a pedestal. These has got nothing to do with us. They just tolerate us. We're like just because they got fur all over their bodies and they look like a dog or wolf, don't think for 1 second that they don't communicate amongst themselves. Don't think for 1 second that they believe that we are a superior species. You look at a type 3, even, on witness testimony of a type 3, they don't have to be worried about us. Not at all. So we have to kind of think to ourselves, right, if they don't really pay us much heed, and we shouldn't really blow our own trumpet that we're that important when it comes to the grand scheme of things with Dogmen and us, they're far really more advanced, and especially if they're able to morph in, morph out, and hide as they do. We could never do that. I mean, Ian will tell you that Ian was in the forces. I'm sure some of the best forces in the world would not be able to track Dogmen. Am I right, Ian?
I would, yeah, I would assume so. Not unless there are some sort of specialists out there with a Department of Agriculture that can do that sort of thing. Native Americans, without a doubt. I mean, part of the 2 guys I saw over the years in Nooney Woods, I would, I'd find it very hard to find anyone. Yeah, and the forces that would could have that sort of skill set.
I was talking to Wade, and Wade's a lovely old guy. He's an elder of the Blackfoot tribe. And I said to him I was interviewing him, really good interview, very honest guy. And I said, look, you're an elder. And he's been through like the Sundance and everything else, which is a notoriously kind of horrible thing to go through, the Sundance. But anyway, I was talking to him about Sasquatch, basically. And I said, oh, and the Cree, they believe in Sasquatch, and it's an entity which, like, kind of, comes to them and it helps them. It helps them as well. It can almost like if you like a shaman of the forest, it's a proper. And they venerate it. Yeah, protector. They venerate it. They venerate it. Absolutely venerate it. And I said to him about, I can't help it, Dogman Teepee hunting. I asked him about Dogman. Oh, what do you think on Dogman? And he said, the Cree don't mention Dogman. The Cree don't mention it because if you mention it, it's that entity which will follow you. It's a different kettle of fish, he said. Totally different kettle of fish. It's a standalone, and especially the lone rogue ones, which we both spoke about, gentlemen. They're the ones which the lone rogue ones are sometimes like the if you like like the like the Mormons, kind of like a Mormon dogman. They're kind of like they're sent out for a period of time, or they're sent away from the pack, and they go rogue, like the Mormons do. They kind of go out and spread the word for 2 years and then come back. But those rogue ones, the Cree and Blackfeet are they're very wary of those. So it's interesting, and I think it's interesting that these structures are seen in America, they're seen in Canada, they're seen in many countries all around the world, and all the same build type. If you look at them, they're all the same build type. Very strange. Right, well, if no one's got anything else, remember but there was a link on YouTube and Facebook. But if anyone's got anything else to add, if anyone wants to ask us a question of any of the gentlemen here, then please do. Other than that, I think we'll just wrap it. What do you say, guys?
Yeah, sure.
I think it's been 2 hours. I think we're bored them silly, to be honest. But yeah, okay. But yeah, no, it's been 2 hours. It's up, it's up to you. It's your show at the end of
Well,
the
we
day.
can. I mean, it's up to you. We can go on if you want.
I can stay. It's up to you. I can do
What
with
about
a
you,
load,
Ian?
but I ain't
Yeah, we
bothered
could
about-
do a couple of questions. Why not?
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
I'm
guys.
up for it. Sorry, I've got
Yeah.
a real bad sore throat. I don't know. It's ever since I went in that woods and I said I
Oh,
felt
it's so dry.
claustrophobic and something was attacking me through it, and it's getting worse. I don't. Well,
Is
not
it?
getting worse. It's just getting really quirky. So I do apologise.
Tea. That's what you
Oh, I
need.
don't
Plenty
want
of tea.
I've got some guineas downstairs. That'll cure it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so with the sounds, very strange. When we were in that wood, which was very dry wood, it looked like no rain got through at all.
No, it didn't, did it?
Dry as anything, absolutely dry as anything. Yeah, you
That'd
can
go
see
up
when I was
like
hitting
it.
the tree.
All you want
Yeah,
is a
it-
spark in there, and that would have gone up, wouldn't it?
Oh man,
Yeah.
would have been awful, wouldn't it? Would have
Honestly, it
been
was so dry, it was
absolute-
unreal.
Yeah, absolutely unreal. But no, that was that was. I'm pleased we did that, and yeah, that was quite exciting, that place. I did like that. And then there was another section we went down this path, continue on down the path, and then it kind of came to an end where there's a junction and the road went up. This path went, oh my word, was that steep or what, Carl? That was so
Halfway was good.
yeah. Cole turned to me and he said he thought I was like kind of like going to heave up a lung or something. You okay? I was like, I'm not used to it. I'm not really used to hiking very much now because I've been so sort of like buggered with my hip. It's been a while since I've had a good hike, and like when we went away, that was a really good hike we did. The day, so yeah, it's just getting my legs were fine. Physically okay, it's just been sort of trying to get my breath and that, but other than that, no, it was okay. It was although I'm saying that my back did play up a little bit, but then again I got herniated discs, so yeah, I think you have as well, Nicole.
Well, a bit of back pain, but then again, I could put it down to my job.
Yeah, could be, yeah. So Ian,
Yeah.
from your experience, what do you, if they have the ability, I know it's an open-ended question really, and I forgive me for asking you this, but I mean I'll chime in as well. Do you think that we affect their life at all, or do you think that they really couldn't give a
Yes.
monkeys about us?
No, I just think in the terms of what we do, I think it's an annoyance to them.
Yeah,
when we're going around getting stuck in and trying to find evidence or make videos or programs or whatever. But I really think I think for some it might be an annoyance, and obviously I think for a lot of people that see them, it can be just by happenstance. I mean, a lot of people see these things. Cannock walking the dogs, or just going for a Sunday stroll. They do seem to be quite common there. I mean, the amount of accounts coming out of that area, I think, is more than any other part of the country. But I think in terms of annoyance, I think we're about doing it, doing our thing. I think we maybe sometimes get a bit too close for comfort for them, and they just try and shoo us away or let us do what we do, and somehow make it known that it's time to go. Or if you keep going back to an area repeatedly, because location is key,
So it is.
they get used to you. And I mean, like with me at Nooney Woods, after a while they just let you carry on, and really they're not upset. And they do convey a feeling of it's okay. But some of the other places I like to go to, May Lane, Glass House, sometimes if you're not going on a regular basis, and they do sort of I mean, I don't know about you guys, but certainly going to Glass House, you do get a feeling of, okay, you're back, but you said you would be back 6 months ago or something like that, and you definitely get that feeling of annoyance, of a slight betrayal.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, which you've had. Glass House, yeah, they seem to be quite a temperamental bunch. May Lane, sometimes indifferent, sometimes friendly, sometimes not today.
Yeah, no, I agree. Total. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been places, like you say, if you keep going, they get used to you.
Yeah.
I've took other people in with me, and they've had strange encounters, or they've been pushed and things like that.
Yeah.
Where I've been left alone because I know, oh, there's that stupid old guy again, and
Yeah.
who the heck's this with him? So yeah, no, I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Very steady retro. Yes, I do agree. I've been thinking of that myself. I have been on certain things through the years and paranormal investigations, and I have brought things back here. I know 100%. I've had doors slam. I've had black entities walk across the room, in the bathroom. But yeah, the thought crossed my mind: have I brought something back from Cannock? So I don't know. I didn't get anything last night, so let's see what happens tonight.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Steady Retro. Hitchhiker effect you were talking about for those that are listening to this.
I've had that a few times.
You have you?
I have, yeah, honest. Unbelievable.
What was is it do is there certain things you do to get rid of it, or is it just like dissipate?
Eventually it's gone. I tell you now, and I don't know if anybody believes this, but I woke up one night and some people say it could be sleep desperation, but I wanted to go to the toilet. I go up. I must go up about 5 times in a night. I don't know, but anyway, got up this particular night. I just done some investigations in the woods. I just got back. It's about 1 o'clock. This is about 1:30, 2 o'clock. Got up for a wee and I walked into the bathroom and there's black swirling mist. And me being me like I am, and I just said, "Do you mind? I want to have a," and I swore I want to have a wee. And with that, it just shot up in the ceiling and disappeared. You could see it like being sucked up in the ceiling, like somebody's just put an over there, and it just all this mist has come up in one funnel and gone. And I said, "Thank you." I did my business, washed my hands, got back into bed. But I've had doors slam. I mean, I know me and Ian have had the similar experiences in the bedroom, things visiting. I know you have, because you picked me up on one time about it, and I said, I know exactly what you're going to say, and I told you what you was going to say, and you said, yeah. It's happened to me for the last 6 years, maybe. No. Not every night, obviously. Not every. It goes months and months, and you'll probably get one. That'll, maybe get a couple of months, but then it'll die down again. But Ian gets the same. Is it because we're looking for Dogman, or is it because of the woods paranormal, or I don't know. You tell me. I don't know. That's why we do what we do, to look for the answers. But yeah, you definitely get the hitchhike effect. I've had it several times. I appreciate Ian probably has it, and I don't know if you've had it, Phil. Really, to be honest.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. I get. I'll tell you what I do. I have voices. That's what I have.
I've had them.
Sometimes very commonly, kind of like you're in a house, and it may be someone else in the house. Like Roxy will be in the house as well. And it used to be a case of, did you just call my name? No, I didn't call your name. I'm sure you did. No, you're hearing things. You did. You can hear your name being called. And yet they swear blunt, no, they didn't call my name. I was like, oh, all right. But it goes deeper than that. I've had it where I've been in like Camberwell Cemetery and I recorded that. And I turned to the camera, I said, I hope to goodness you heard that. And when you listen, again, it's very low, very robotic sounding voice. And
Thank
the
you.
voice I hear, yeah. And it's the same voice. I keep hearing the same voice right from a kid. Same voice, boom, like that. And I think it's a bit of a protector, to be honest. And I do think it's maybe a Dogman entity, but it's a protecting one. It tells me, it always says the same thing. It doesn't go into great long discussions or, kind of what Carl Jung would, or, tell me about your mother. It doesn't say that, but it does say, when I'm in a predicament, it does say, beware or leave or go now. And it will say my name. Not often, but when needed, it will pipe up. And that's when I go, okay, that's it. I've had enough. I'm out of here then. I'll take his advice. So, whether you think, no, screaming nut job, I don't know. I wouldn't blame you if you thought that anyway. But no, but I'm only telling you the truth because it's worth saying. Because it just happens. I've had that. I can't say I've had hitchhiker effects from point of view of, I've had paranormal stuff happen. Funny enough, in the toilet. The toilet seems to be a hot spot.
For some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Toilet seemed to be a hot spot. Ready Steady Retro says prayers. Very true. I'm going to come to that in a minute with you two guys.
Yeah, because I've got something about sage.
Yeah, protection, sage on your way, Colin. It's a dark place. Why I don't like the chase. Okay, right. Yeah. Yeah, sage is good. Burning sage. Ash keys as well. I've heard are quite good to keep as well. Because when you're in the forest, you come across like kind of some dark areas which are created by people. So having ash keys is always a good thing to have. Yeah, no, toilets. Let's get back to that because that's interesting. I remember once, and it's funny how the paranormal opens up to more paranormal for us and people like us, people like you at home. It must be the same. You wouldn't be watching three idiots like this if you were kind of like not into the paranormal and stuff, So let me just tell you this little quick story. I remember being I was in a relationship, okay, many years ago. I was really young, and I went off to the loo. I went for a wee, okay, right, but I had the overwhelming urge to sit on the toilet, not for a tom tit, but just to sort of sit on the toilet. I just like zapped of energy, totally zapped of energy. I just had to sit on the toilet. My head was down. I can't remember anything else. I swear this is the truth. I went back into the bedroom because I was like, no, I woke up, I went back in the bedroom. And the partner I was with turned around to me and said, she was white as a sheet. I was like, you all right? What's happened to you? And she said, this old lady was at the end of her bed, sat on the end of her bed, talking to her. Did that entity materialize because it zapped my energy? I don't know. Could be. Clapham Woods. I told the fellas this story. Clapham Woods is a wood in Sussex where a lot of disappearances. If you go and Google it, Clapham Woods, you'll find that the local priest or the vicar that worked in the church, he went missing in Clapham Woods. He used it as like a shortcut to get from his church to wherever he wanted to go, shops or whatever. So it's only a very small woods, not huge. And Sussex is just recently where you had that supposed sighting a couple of years ago of a Bigfoot that turned out to be a hoax around that area. But I went to Clapham Woods to see the sacrificial beech tree, very famous beech, with lots of sigils, witchcraft sigils, and carved into this beech tree. Lovely old tree it is. And I found an awful lot of structures around that wood. I videoed it. Everything's on video. And it was, these structures were kind of like multiple kind of like star branch structures. And as I was walking, because I always go off path, I was walking through the woods off the path, and I was going through. It's rough going, but I was going through. This the only time it's happened. I had this overwhelming feeling of sickness. Awful sick. You know that kind of white cold feeling, like a cold sweat, like white feeling, like you're gonna have a white out, you know. And I had that overpowering feeling. I threw up just once, but as soon as I left the area, immediate area, bingo, fine. Thank you very much. Not a problem. Odd, isn't it?
I've read about these cases, quite a few of them, to be honest. It does happen quite a lot, doesn't it? How? Why? That's got to be stone cold.
It could do with a bit of microwave, but tea microwave's awful, isn't it? You know, that's the bit. Yeah, I should have brought my little cooking pot up here. So one thing that Ready Steady Retro brought up was prayers. So where do you two stand when it comes to, if you are close or have been close to an entity, not necessarily Dogman, but let's just say Dogman, do you think prayers work?
No.
No. Not at all.
Have you tried it?
No. Because
No, not at the time, because I'm too busy pooing myself. The last thing on my mind is trying to say a prayer. I'm sorry, I'm not religious. If there's any religious people out there, I'm really sorry, but you know, I don't believe in it. I believe it was an alien. Through time, we've been visited and changed, and you know, look at the pyramids that was built and all that, and Machu Picchu and you know, Peru and all like that. But no, I don't believe, and I don't think prayer would help personally.
no.
What do you think, Ian?
I believe in God, but as Jesus Christ is his only begotten Son. Could say Jesus basically means, you know, Yeshua means salvation.
So, yeah.
You know, Yeshuvita, salvationist. But as for the historical Christ, I don't think he would have been a very nice person to be around, to be honest. But when these things have been in the bedroom with me, I think the only time I've ever uttered something was telling it to F off, leave me alone, because I was trying to sleep. And it did.
Yeah.
It grabbed my lower leg, left leg, and he was rocking it back and forth. I said, F off, leave me alone, I'm trying to sleep. And it did. I've had one where it's drilled saliva over me. I'll tell you that when I was married, you know, it was putting me on my upper arm. I could feel a point. And then I heard it walk to the end of the bed. I counted to 10, and I was thinking, right, when I opened my eyes, I'm going to start screaming like a big girl. And when I did, there was nothing there. Sure. I've had one sat in the corner here in this house, in bed, sat in the corner of the bedroom, squatted down, just looking at me. Just went back to sleep. There was no
that's
sense of
how we're doing it. Yeah.
no sense of fear or anything. It was just
Roxy B, I've asked the same question.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my partner when we were together, she said she was being growled at in the bedroom, and I didn't hear a thing.
Strange that one, isn't it? Really.
So
Right, but I will say my 2 pence for that is it's inexplicable, but the power of the name Jesus Christ works. It works. I've had quite a close encounter with a type 2 Dogman. That's the one that is normally, if it's running, it'll be on all fours. It looks like a gorilla. It's very wide. It's huge, actually. And squat, it's not as chiseled like a type 3 with the the long muzzle and the big white teeth, and it's more squat. It's more gorilla like. It's got a flatter face. But I've been very close with one of those. And also type 3s, 2 of them at a little bit of a distance. And with the type 3s especially, they was like running around like really quick, just through brambles and stuff that you would like it would be impossible to run through without like tripping up. But anyway, how they did it, I don't know. Many times when I've done paranormal work, I go on my own. I go with a group. Okay, I've been with 2 groups before now, but I drift off on my own because I get more reaction that way. Because this thing that we call paranormal, this thing we call Dogman, also is opportunistic from the point of view of it's not a performing circus. It will creep up on you, but it likes to fear you both on your own with your unawares. If you've got a room full of 10 people or 10 people going out into the wood all together, huddled together, not a lot's going to happen. I would forget that idea. But you go on there on your own or in very limited numbers, you will see something. You will experience something. If any chance you do, or you do come up against anything which is remotely bad, you will know it's bad because you'll feel it. Can't explain it, you just feel it. Recite the Lord's Prayer or just say, in the name of Jesus Christ, be gone. Now, I'm not a big Bible basher, okay? I'm really not. It sounds like I am, but it's just some advice from the point of view of time and time again when I've come up against things which haven't been that nice, they scatter, they go, they cannot hack it. I don't know why, but they cannot hack it. They do leave you alone. So you don't need any guns, you don't need any, they go. It doesn't work on people, I'm afraid.
Yeah, you wish. Yeah.
But that's my experience. That's my experience. You know, and it's kind of, you know, whether it's, you know, your own self-belief, you know, and it sees that your belief is so strong that it's fearful of that, whether it's something more, whether it is something where you know, these things that we come up against are dark. They're a dark descent. They're evil, for want of a better expression. I don't know.
No, you could be right. Like I say, I've had the opportunity to speak with Rob Harvey. He works for the church. He's an exorcist and all things like that. He's been doing it for 35 years. I mean, he tells me about Jesus Christ and it is a protector, and I can believe that. He's told me to mention that myself, but like I say, I'm not a firm believer, but that's me. He was on about keep away from Ouija boards. I asked him about sage. He says sage doesn't work. You know, it's carry a cross. And he's told me all stuff like that to do to try and save myself. But again, yeah, you could be right. There could be something there. I don't know. Personally, I don't think there is, but that's my opinion. But I do believe where you're coming from, because I've had cases on my files where people have shouted Jesus Christ, not in vain, but as trying to protect themselves, and things have disappeared. So yeah, there could be something in it, Phil. I agree. Totally agree.
I'm like I say, I'm not a Bible basher. I believe in what I believe in, and then it's up to you, your own choice. That's fine, but I know it works for me, and it's comfortable for me. I've got my dad is nearly 100 years old. He's born on the 12th of August 1925. He's nearly 100. Okay, he's not too well at the moment. Obviously, he's not bless his heart, but hopefully he'll hang in there till he's 100. But regardless, I was talking to one of his old mates who's 91. His old mates the other day, telling him how dad is, and and he said to me, "How is your dad?" I said, "Yeah, he's fine. He's he's as good as you can expect. Nearly 100. He's he's not dancing the fandango anymore, but he's okay. He's comfortable. And I think he sort of is aware and enjoying a life that is enough for him, if you know what I mean. At the moment, at his age. Anyway, this guy, his friend, is Parsi, and the Parsi religion in India is a very small, it's a small enclave kind of like religion. It's a very not strange. Well, I hate to say that word, but it's got some odd customs. They're the ones, if somebody dies, they'll put the dead in a tree for the birds. Or there's a place, a temple over there, and they'll put the body into his temple.
Native Americans used to do it.
Yeah, the dogs eat the body, because it all goes back to nature, as they believe, and that's the way to do it. Anyway, I remember Dad's friend when he came over, he his wife, English wife, he married, turned him from Parsi into Christian. Anyway, God, blimey, O'Reilly, when I spoke to him, it's like an ex-smoker. Like sometimes with an ex-smoker, they kind of like, they can smell smoke on your clothes from like 3 miles away.
There's one there, look. Well done, Ian. Well done.
Thank you.
And they'll go banging on about it. It's like, oh, open the window, your clothes stink in the car, or they'll go like, they just go on banging on about it, which, and they used to smoke like a chimney themselves. And you think, hang on a minute, well, Dad's friend is like this. To a question he said to me, he said, "Do you know, Phil?" And Dad is like nearly 100. He said, last time I spoke to him, he said, a few weeks back, I was telling him about Christ, and I was telling him about, embracing Christ and embracing this. And I said, hang on a minute, mate, look, he's nearly 100. He's quite weak. When you talk to him, you don't have to go banging on about Jesus Christ. If you want, I can go banging on about Jesus Christ to you. That's not a problem. We can spend 2 hours talking about Christ. That's fine. I'm not blind to the fact that, there is holes in the Bible. They're not blind to that fact. I'm not one to take it on face value. But anyway, so I was talking to. So this is the thing. You can't. I believe in God, and I believe in there was a guy called Jesus Christ. He wore Jesus creepers, and he had some power. He had a power to him, and and I think that he was the Son of God, and his name does hold power. And proven that to myself. That's what I'm getting at. I proved it to myself, but I'm not here to say, oh yeah, you've got to embrace God before you go out in the wood, because otherwise you'll be the, you know, whatever works for you. You know, if you've got a 12 gauge shotgun, that works for you. What's your thoughts on that?
It does, doesn't it? Oh, whatever you
Well,
believe
certainly,
in.
if I had a 12 gauge, that'd
That'd be handy.
it would be by the power of Grayskull.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
You know?
Yeah, yeah,
Our
yeah,
little
for sure.
penknives don't do much,
But,
do they? It's like burning hours against a tank, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, but I mean, I do, you know, in terms of the historical aspect of it, you know, I mean, Judea at the time, you know, had one or two messianic leaders of a particular ultra-nationalist Jewish religious group. But it was, you know, they had a line of priests, but, you know, they were all brothers or cousins. And, you know, St. Paul or Saul of Tarsus, I think the one that gave rise to Christ, or his version of it. But I believe in God.
No, we don't know the truth.
But I you know, you go to the Council of Nicaea in 324 AD, where I think they banned 54 different gospels before they, you know, before they had this sort of canonical four put together. And, you know, when all the bishops of the faith or different faiths that turned up, they had 2,000 prostitutes with them, just to keep them warm, tucked up in bed at night.
Electric blanket does me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one bishop refused to identify one book, so another one came round the table and beat him up until he agreed. You know?
Sounds like politics.
It was.
Yeah. No, that's it. No, it's you know, it's you know, you know, the Bible's heavily edited, wasn't it? 33 years after the death of Christ himself, edited by the Greeks. It's
if you look at the Old Testament, it's nothing more than a rehashed version of the Sumerian creation myth.
well, yeah, that's a point. Actually, I was going to mention that. Yeah, now, you see, there's so much. I remember seeing a film once, and it had a famous bit in it. I think it was Angel Heart. That's a film.
Yeah,
And there was a famous, really good film. And I think it was Robert De Niro turned around and said, there's enough religion in the world for men to hate each other, but not enough to make them love each other, which is very true.
True.
Yeah.
True,
you know, it's very, very true words. Whoever wrote that script, very true words. But when you look at religions of the world, and this is pertaining to paranormal as well, but when you look at religions around the world, they and in their writings, they very will have a central theme that is common within all of them. You know, there will be a single figure of a godly deity made human, or a human who assumes ascension, gains ascension to a realm that is an ethereal godly realm. You know, you've got Buddha, who was a prince, had everything he wanted. Absolutely everything. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he had everything he wanted. That boy had everything. He had girls on tap, boys if he wanted them. he wanted for nothing, but that wasn't enough for him. He was missing something inside himself. So he went and he became a beggar, and he went into, funny enough, the woods. He went into the jungle then, but he went into the woods and sought enlightenment, which he found, and it became enlightened. It became Buddha. We have much the same with Jesus Christ. There's events in the Bible which are mentioned in Quran and in Buddhism. In most religions, we have events like the Younger Dryas, the Great Flood, all roughly around the same time as well. And it makes one think. It makes you think, well, you know, they were thousands of miles away from each other, and yet they all wrote in testimony that these events.
Same event. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So you kind of think to yourself, well, is it actually, you know, interpretation in those cultures of one single kind of need, not event? I'm not saying there's a universal Jesus Christ, which runs through all the countries and so, you know, I'm here now, you know, I'm doing that, and you can call me Buddha. It's not. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is there's a universal need for us to believe in something more than us. Animals don't have it. Animals don't have it. They, you know, they can care less because they don't, you know, there's only us that have this need to believe in something higher than us, because I think we're so aware of death that we fear, and because that fear, it brings us to the fact of you know, we must go on. If I believe in this, we will go on. That brings me to Dogman. I know it's a bit of a way ways, but do we have to believe in Dogman for it to appear to us? We spoke to a chap, Colin and myself spoke to this chap walking up. I would want to say he's either he was a retired doctor, or he had a bit of noddle about him. It was
like
not. He was.
Professor
He was.
type of guy, wasn't he?
He wasn't stupid, was he, Cole?
No.
Anyway, he was. He'd walked that. He'd lived around that area for a long time. I gave him the question because I was like asking people that I saw. You know, I just like kind of chanced my arm. You know, oh, excuse me, have you seen anything paranormal in this forest? And a few of them said, "Oh no, we're on holiday actually." It's like, okay. There's one guy we bumped into twice, and I posed the same question. I said, "Oh, have you seen anything paranormal? If you've been walking through here quite a lot, have you seen anything?" You know, which is like, nope, nothing. But his mindset was one of, he did not believe in any of that.
Anything, did he? No.
So do we have to believe? Is it because we believe in that?
Not really. I mean, my first experience was 14 years old, and I didn't believe. Well, I didn't even know what Dogman was. I didn't even know what a Bigfoot was. So, you know, you can't put that down to that, can you? Really?
Mm.
And I mean, like I say, as you know, I've got files and files, and the amount of people that have come forward and they don't even believe in it. So, you know, I can't see that being a connection, Phil, personally.
No, it just seems to be that people that are, you know, absolutely oblivious to it, you know, or pay it no heed at all, don't ever see anything. I mean, do they, if they were to see or not, or hear, because when I asked him, I said, "Oh, well, you know, there's things in this world that, you know, can't be explained." He said, "Everything can be explained."
Yeah,
He said, if you dig deep enough, everything can be explained. Well, hang on a minute. How can you explain kind of like a door closing in the middle of a forest. Where does that come from? A metal door closing, a sound of a metal door closing. You know, how can you explain the buzzing we heard? Not just me, not just you, Cole, both of us, and with Ian as well. He heard it. So what, and that is, yeah, it could be insects, but not what we heard. And hopefully,
insects.
you know, I'll bring that out more. I'll work with that audio and bring it out more for all the people at home. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a thought. I was just kind of thinking to myself, you know, is it because we're more open? Do you have to be open to see it? Do you have to open it?
I don't agree there. I'm sorry, Phil. I don't agree. I'm going to go out tomorrow and say, well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to see a ghost today, and I see one. You know, it don't work like that, does it?
So if you then, so Cole, if you then packed up everything, your werewolf mask behind you, all your paranormal stuff on the walls, everything else, put it in a bin and said, right, from now on, to me, it doesn't exist. Will you have any more? Do you think you'll have any more experiences because you have decided that you're gonna just not take it on board? You're not going to pay it any more heed.
I don't know. It's $1 million question, isn't it? You can't say it. But again, like I said, it's when I was 14 years old. I didn't believe in anything. I didn't know anything like that. As you know, my research, and I have come to a good conclusion that I'd say about 80%, 75%, somewhere around there, a percentage of my files have all had some type of trauma in their life, i.e. divorce, death, cancer. They've seen it. Why have they seen it and not the others that are going through a perfect life? I know there is people in my files that have had nothing, but majority all have something trauma in their life, some type of something going on, and they see it. Why? And I can guarantee that's about 75-80% of my files. You tell me.
Yeah,
they've gone out, have they, and says, "Look, I believe in Dogman. I'm going to see a werewolf today. Come on, darling. Let's go for a care ride. Look for a werewolf." Sorry, but they are they?
I do agree with you. I think from the point of view of you know, damaged people to a certain degree, you know, whether that damage is limited to
I'd like to know more about that, Mr. Retro. Sorry. Sorry, Phil. Go on. Sorry.
That's all right. You know, I think, you know, people that have suffered trauma or emotional damage, or, you know, I mean, I've got it. I've got emotional damage. I've got, you know, had trauma. Everyone in their life, you don't live a life unless you have something happen, which that kind of, you have to put into a little box. You have to kind of like stick it in the back of your head and try and lock it up and forget about it, you know. But it's, I once had a really, really cool interview, right? I had a really cool interview, and that interview was with a guy, and it was a difficult one. He approached me and he said, "Oh, Phil," he said, he's a very honest guy, and he said, "I've seen 2 dogmen." I was like, "Oh, that's great. Okay." And I said, "Well, you know, where were you, and you know, kind of what happened?" And he said, "Well, before I do, I have to tell you," he said, "I have been treated for schizophrenia." And I said, "You know, that's very brave of you to tell me, but in my mind, that gives me a little bit more credibility in your story. Gives it more credibility in your story, because he was honest enough to say, not to hide, that he was treated in the past and was on some, you know, kick-ass drugs for it. And when he comes off the drugs, he goes back into the schizophrenic, you know, thing again. So it's like a boomerang effect. He feels better. He comes off the drugs, gets to them drugs, feels better, and it's just like boomerangs. So he was honest about it, and on film, I warned people. I did at the beginning of the interview. I said, "Look, it's a very difficult interview. He's a very brave guy because, he has mental issues, um, and he has suffered with mental issues for some time. But here's his story, and what a fascinating story it was as well. So." It's that sort of thing where with people that you're quite right, people that are damaged or have some form of trauma in their life, which these things, and it's when they have that trauma that a lot of times these things happen, and it compounds it. It's almost like they see a weakness, and they prey upon that weakness of that person.
Does that weakness open a portal or something? This is, why we do what we do. I just can't figure out the connection. I'm getting bangs in my house. All right. Did anybody pick that up? Yeah, what is the connection? I don't know, Phil. This is it. I mean,
Yeah.
I've just interviewed another one. He's just going through a divorce. He feels so low, he wants to commit suicide. But this thing blooming ran across the road. Bang. Why?
Maybe I know that when I've like kind of had depression or felt low, in times of my life, I've always been felt vulnerable, and maybe that feeling of vulnerability kind of, and I've always kind of given myself a crutch. Years ago, I used to give myself a crutch, and that crutch was usually alcohol. Maybe these things, including paranormal stuff, maybe these things do prey upon that because it's easy pickings. Maybe a person that's well-rounded, has nothing really in their life that they worry about or that depresses them, that brings them down. Maybe their wall around them is just that bit too hard to get past. Maybe it's sort of, maybe that knock on the window, the scratch on the window, or that black shadow in the toilet. That maybe.
What do you think, Ian?
I think it's like them reaching out to connect.
In what way and why?
Almost something sympathetic. Like join the club. You're not the only one that's repelled or rejected, mistreated.
Well, like now, Mr. Wallace, that thing chased his car. He was going through a divorce. He felt like his life was going to end. This thing wanted him, and he admitted it when he got. He was absolutely a gibbering wreck. He nearly pulled himself. He says, "I'm sure he wet himself." If that's the case, why does it portray such fear? Is it because we've grown up with fear? You get to sleep, young man. The boogeyman's going to come. The Sandman's going to come,
or maybe in a way trying to shake you into, life has more to offer.
Yeah, possibly.
There's so much to this. To this field of study that the more that you think the more you need to answer.
There's more questions, the more you know.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I like to think that when it comes to the basic field craft of the hobby,
we're boots on the ground, guys.
I think
good.
I think I can stand on my own 2 feet in that regard, but when it comes to the other spiritual or metaphysical aspects of it, there's still a lot of head scratching going on.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Your neck of woods, isn't it, Phil? Really.
I think a lot of the things that happen, there's all right. I'll explain it like this. Right. So when I'm out in the woods and I'm on my own, I'm out in the woods, I do get scared. Don't think I don't. I do get scared. right?
all do.
There's certain things which, like, kind of, when you're out in the woods, you hear things. I remember hearing like a woman screaming, in a distance once, and it. I didn't, so I know it wasn't a fox. Foxes make a bit of a scream like that as well, but when they're on heat
Heat.
and stuff, yeah. But this was different, and it's scary when you're out there. So it's an hour's hiking, and you hear that, and you think, oh, what the hell? I caught on video. I was walking. I was about an hour and a half in, and I heard this like squealing, like a squealing coming from not 5 feet away from me. But you think I could hear anything? No. I see anything? No, I couldn't. But it instilled a sense. No, it was really loud. It was really loud, really loud.
I've heard rabbits being caught by foxes, and they squeal like anything. I've seen it.
Yeah. No, granted. Yeah, this was more human-like, much more human-like. But I got it on video. So I'll stick that down on here. But yeah, what I'm getting at is this: what about if it does boil down to this, right? And it's only a theory, but it's my theory. Well, what about if these entities purposely make us scared for a reason? And they make us scared for a reason because it does alter it releases a chemical like adrenochrome. And there's a lot of vampires, right? That people that say that they're vampires, and it said that I met a head vampire once, and it said that they they take people or younger people, and they subject them to an awful lot of fear, and then they take their adrenochrome, basically, because it keeps them young and helps them. But what about if these things actually do go back to the basic good and bad in life? What about if these things, just imagine if they do, and why they, including paranormal stuff, why they instill this fear is because they want to instill the fear, because it changes our blood, if you like. It produces a chemical which they're able to use somehow. I don't know how, but
like
maybe
a power bank or something. Yeah.
I don't know how they would use it, but maybe it's a thing which, because it always seems to be like with your exorcist friend, where kind of the need. It's almost like a horror movie where it's not the final act that gets you. It's the build up to that act. It's not the money shot of the act. It's the actual build up, the tension, which is good. That's what I find. You get an awful lot of, what the hell did I just hear? What was that? It's a little way, but I heard it. Oh, that's a scary noise. What the hell was that? That's a growl. Where was that? You don't actually see anything up in my face. There's nothing like, haha, scared you. It's always on the peripheral. It's always kind of like enough to instill the fear, but doesn't come through with the money shot where it's like in my face, boom,
Yeah. No, I agree. Do you think your public that's listening to it now would like to do a part 2 of this? Because you've done 3 hours. I have been funny.
Yeah, I think they probably would.
And your public, and people do get a bit bored. I always think.
Okay, yeah.
And get a load of questions from your public and do this again if you want. But I want to be out early hours in the morning. I've got plans to go to certain woods, local by, and shout that I'm here. Come and shout in my face, like you just said.
All right. If you give a shout out for your channels, Ian, what's your channel?
I think it's 7477 Ian Wood. I never bother taking notice. Just
what are you playing at, Ian?
Okay, right.
That's my YouTube channel. That's it.
Part 2, look, and Mrs. Retro, I'd love to hear your story. You've really intrigued me. If you don't mind sharing it, I can pass. Well, Phil can pass my details on whatever you want. But if you want to talk to me, I really appreciate it. Another one to my foul.
Yeah, she's a very very lovely lady, and very very great story. Great story.
Great. Yeah, but I'd love to do a part 2 and discussion and get your public to bang us a load of questions in, and we'll.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
really
Colin, what's your channel, Colin?
I'm just on YouTube now. I've closed down my website, but it's just the Dark 66. There's not much up there. There's a few interviews. I've started doing I can't remember what they call it. Photo easy. We put photos on and a AI voiceover, but these are all true stories. Well, I've got in my file, so I'm just going through my files and doing them. They take a bit of time putting photos together and voiceovers, but that's not my voice on them. I get an AI voice to do it. So, but yeah, the Dark 66. Have a look. You can contact me through there. Whatever.
Lovely. That's great. Okay. Yep. No, I like that. That's all right. And listen, thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate you coming on, and we shall do a part 2.
Yeah, I'll send you the bill.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep. Send me the bill. I'm sure you will as well. I'm sure you will. All right. Take care, guys.
Thank you, and thanks to everybody who's tuned in.
Thank you. Great. That was very enjoyable. And listen, it was a marathon, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And thank you very much for your company and your input as well at home. Absolutely, you've been brilliant. And thank you very much. And if you got any more comments or you'd like a part 2, just please let us know. And thank you very very much, and see you.